Hey everybody, Mac to Monster, back with Marvel Heroes, and this time the Silver Surfer is up on the chopping block. And he had a quality of life pass, and it's a smaller pass, not a lot changed. Um, I mean, Event Horizon they updated a little bit because it instantly refreshes all powers currently on cooldown and restores spirit if he's standing on it. Or I should say power cosmic, which is basically spirit. Uh, so not really going to go over it because they didn't really change tons. You know, they adjusted magnetic flux. And they added a power, so I'll go over that. Particle burst. This is actually a pretty cool alternative to electromagnetic flux. I think it can almost maintain the same kind of DPS. It's probably 10 to 15% off. But what it will do is energy damage, and it deals 40% extra damage to bosses and elites, and it deals 10% less damage per enemy hit beyond the first. And it basically fires off in a beam, and so you can hit rows of enemies. Kind of a cool extra ability to have. So the build I'm doing is pretty much the Herald, but the Herald 2015. So for the Herald 2015, we're going to be doing much of the same. But given they adjusted refracting beam to hit 8 targets, we're going to take that. So we're going to do 20 points into refracting beam, 20 points into deconstruct, 20 points into power unconquered, 20 points into event horizon. We're dropping supernova because I can maintain the spirit without it. 20 points into death from below, 20 points into subspace slipstream. This is going to be a major source of damage for at least bosses, more than you would think. 20 points into polarity field. Going to do a point into reconstruct, a point into cosmic resonance, a point into soar, just so you have the movement ability, and the rest of the points into subspace rift. And how this works is we're going to set up refracting beam as our basic attack, subspace slipstream as our movement ability, and then we're going to have death from above or below, deconstruct, reconstruct, subspace rift, and event horizon on the bar. And you're basically going to channel those off, and then on cooldown you're going to pound with subspace slipstream or refracting beam, or both, depending on how many enemies are out there. And it gets a little bit more complicated with the Surfer because, you know, tight targets in a group, the subspace slipstream does a lot of damage as well, as the refracting beam does. So it gets interesting. And then let's go into gearing, because we'll go into how combat works once we start doing combat. So we have a Pluvian superconductor, high AoE. As you can see, everything but refracting beam is AoE. Everything's AoE, even the subspace slipstream. He is the AoE king. We're going to do the advanced metasensory array. Even though the attack speed doesn't come into play too much, we'll take the damage rating and the +1 to all powers. We got a super high danger AI chip here of energy attack, so that's going to give us a lot of energy damage rating. And we're going to back it up with a really high damage rating advanced Phoenix Feather. And then we're going to do a crazy Electro Medallion, which is going to let us subspace rift or slipstream a lot. Now I have a Stone of Jordan, but anything that's like plus mana, plus area skills, plus crit would work with +1 to all powers. Also, if you happen to have it, another great one would be like the Midtown Guardian Signet. I mean, that one's pretty good. Plus damage rating when you use movement power. So, going back over here, got a little loss there. I got River of the Soul on an energy attack. Hero, he's all energy. We have health on his core, 3-to-1 core. I should have updated it, but it's +1 energy. It's still pretty good. He doesn't need it fully updated there. When I crit, me and my allies gain damage rating for 3 seconds. Damage rating with melee powers is horrible, plus movement speed. It's not really a good signet, but it's what I got. And I'm using his Morning Star. I mean, that's giving us energy, damage rating with damage over time powers, brutal strike rating, brutal strike damage rating, +2 to all powers, +3 to subspace rift. I'm using the shield life support gear. I didn't have his slot 2, so I just used that. Gave me health, regeneration, and then a massive amount of defense when I go below 50% health. So, and +1 durability. Added a massive amount of survivability to me. So I just kind of liked it. Shield Systems Reconnaissance Belt, again, didn't have his slot 3. And this added a ton of survivability because it's got health, dodge rating, critical hit rating, critical hit damage rating, minus 10% power cost for powers, and +1 to all powers. So it's pretty good. When you drop below 30%, you get a shield agent to help you. I have this Mantle of the Keeper. Gives plus damage rating on area powers. It's all its powers basically. +3% boss damage, base damage against bosses. And +3 to all Silver Surfer's power cosmic powers. I got his Shield of the Silver Savage. Damage rating with movement powers. That's going to help us critical hit rating, critical hit damage rating. Health, defense, and dodge when you drop below 50% health. When you hit with a movement power, you gain 61 crit. You can get that up to 4 times, maximum of 244 crit. +5 are Silver Surfer's Starfarer powers. So he's got his base stuff. I don't have anything super special or anything like that, but it's going to be more than adequate. And we'll go destroy Dr. Octopus, Cosmic Dr. Octopus. And it's kind of a big rotation, a little bit different. You got 2 choices. I don't know why that was happening. You can burn them down with this. As you can see, that's going to take forever. Anything with hit points, I like to pound with the melee pound. So the first option is refracting beam everything. Once it's down to 1 target, or maybe 2 targets if they're tightly grouped, it's death from below, deconstruct, reconstruct, subspace rift, event horizon, and while everything's on cooldown, so you want to do that as fast as possible, like this. You pound with subspace slipstream. But that thing died so fast, I lost all my, because nothing was reconstructed, nothing was deconstructed. Let me just keep up with everything while it's on cooldown. You can see it's much more survivable teleporting all around. Oh, my pet. I'm sucking all this stuff up and I'm not getting it. I'm trying to level my pet. Oh, we're all done. That happened fast. Oh. I should probably remember to turn on polarity field and cosmic resonance. I always forget. I keep them on separate bars. So that was without the damage shield. It's still that tough. Obviously it gets a little bit more DPS with the buffs. Pretty easy. It's actually pretty fun because you get to slam into everything. Definitely a different play style.
I can sense this will have immense value in the future.
Let's see, anything good? Oh, a dupe rune. Sack all this. Everyone's probably going nuts over the surfboards going sacrificed. So that's the Herald 2015. Still works just as good. Don't really need the supernova in it. Gives us refracting beam. You can get rid of refracting beam, as you can see. It's almost unnecessary, but if you like that kind of ranged option, it gives you the ranged option in there. You can put supernova in there. Supernova really isn't that big of a DPS increase, and that would increase your. You have to find a slot for it on your bar, basically, but that's up to you. But I like it. It's fun. So I hope it helps. Hope you enjoyed. And talk to everybody real soon.